Welcome back to my channel. I'm Beth Morgan, the Poor Valley Princess, and today we're talking about gardening in Appalachia. Now, those of us who were born and raised here in Appalachia were born and raised gardening. It is a way of life in this area, and for many of us it seems foreign to not garden. And so the sudden resurgence of gardening among families in the last few years is just really joyful, I think, for us to see. And so today, before we get started, I wanted to share with you a few books that I enjoy reading before the season begins in that December and January time of year that kind of get me thinking about how I want my garden to go this year and planning and dreaming. It's almost the best part about the garden. No weeding, no hoeing, just dreaming. So it's fun to do. So I wanted to start by showing this book first. I've had several people ask me about planting by the signs and planting by the moon. And I am going to do another video solely on just using the signs and planting by the signs and how the moon affects growth. But you might want to read this book. It's very interesting. It's called Raising with the Moon, The Complete Guide to Gardening and Living by the Signs of the Moon by Jack Pyle and Taylor Reese. So this is a great resource. Also, I want to just give a shout out to this book's author. Her name is Jessica Sowers. They have a homestead in South Carolina, I believe, and she has a YouTube channel that is so fun to watch, especially if you are new to growing tomatoes vertically. She has a great video on growing your tomatoes vertically, and so I really enjoy watching her. And if you are a first-time gardener, or if you are just a couple of years into gardening, this is a great book as well. Her name is Jessica Soward, S-O-W-A-R-D. Her channel's called Roots and Refuge. Her farm is called Roots and Refuge Farm. And it's called The First Time Gardener. So you might enjoy looking at this as well. Now, one book that we here in Appalachia always go by is The Farmer's Almanac. These are available at Tractor Supply and Walmart, different places. But I suggest if you are thinking that you are going to do some gardening this year, go ahead and get yourself one of these so that you can look at the dates for planting in your area. I know here where I live, the zone has changed this year. But you know what? It's not going to change how I do things. But they call us a different zone here where I am. But I'm going to do another video on that later. Okay, I want to share with you a couple of places that I love to order my seeds from, since we're dreaming about what might be going into the garden this year. First, if you are into heirloom gardening, the Baker Creek Heirloom Seed Catalog. I love this catalog. I just love it. You can flip through here all winter and dream about all the exotic and wonderful things that you're going to put in your garden this year and mark those down until you have hundreds and hundreds of dollars of seeds marked like I do. But you can see the pictures are beautiful, and I recommend this. Great germination rates for the seeds from this company. And of course, they are heirloom seeds. And then Seed Savers Exchange, of course not quite as thick, but again, a beautiful catalog. They have wonderful pictures of and descriptions of all of the different things that they offer. So love them as well. And then two more that are online that you may not have heard of before. We've got the M.I. Gardener, which is great, M.I. and then Gardener online. And then another one is Pepper Jacks. Love to get pepper seeds from there. And so I hope that these will inspire you to start dreaming about what's going in your garden this year. Now here where I am, it is time to start a few seeds. And so today's video will take us through my seed starting setup It's very simple. I don't have anything fancy, but it works. And so in my area, I find if I do not start my pepper seeds in January, my pepper plants will not be ready to go out, after Mother's Day or whenever I'm ready to put them out in my garden. So I will be getting those seeds started today, and I thought you might like to join me in that endeavor. So let's head down to the basement and see what's going on. All right, so here we are, my seed starting setup that it's down in our basement. It's nothing fancy, but it's dry and it's warm. It's everything really that we need to get our seeds started. I have my tray ready to go. I'm using the Miracle Grow seed starting mix. I actually bought several of these at the end of the season last year and just saved them because they're fine as long as they're, kept in the dry. I bought every one they had left actually. So I have plenty of potting mix to get us going with our seed starting this year. Now here's what I'm going to do. I've already got it dampened. It's not soaking wet with water, but it is already pre-dampened. So I'm just going to take this soil and I'm going to fill up all of these little seed pods. I'm going to fill up all the little seed pods and make sure that each one has plenty of soil for the next step. Here we go. Seed pods filled with soil. I made sure to fill each one nicely, but I did not pack it down. If you pack it down, it's going to make it hard on that little seed to grow. So all of our soil is in and ready. Now we're ready to put in our seeds. For this step, you're going to need a pencil. There's mine. You're going to need a pencil. Now, I find that this is a great way to make uniform holes in your soil to make it easy for getting those seeds down in the center. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do one section at a time because I tend to get busy and I forget which one I've put seeds in. So I'm just going to do one section at a time. And today I'm doing green peppers. Now these are some seeds that I saved from last year. This was a green pepper from Baker Creek. And they were quite prolific and huge and beautiful. And so I kept some. Now I'm going to put 2 seeds, at least, in each hole. Now, here's where the handy pencil comes in. I can just poke those seeds right down in there if they didn't fall down in very well. And then I'm just going to lightly brush the soil over the top. Now I'm going to continue doing this through this whole tray because this whole tray is going to be peppers, and then they will be ready to put in the greenhouse effect. And that'll be our next step. I have all of the seeds in the seed pods ready to go. And so now the fun part. This little greenhouse is so handy, and I'll put the link to it. I will put the link to it in the description. Actually, I will link all the things that I mentioned here in this video in the description. This one is so handy, however, because it's so easy to use. Now, what I'm going to do is just open up the vent on the side. And here I have my thermometer. I'm just going to weave it through the vent on the side. I'm going to stick my thermometer down into the soil. And now I will be able to read how warm my soil is, because I find if it stays between 70 and 75, anywhere in that area, my seeds do much better. And so that's my goal, is for it to be from about 70 to 75. I am putting it on the heat mat, so you can see the heat mat laid out here. And I've got the grow light. And so it's really simple. I just make sure that the vent on the top of the little greenhouse is closed. I'm going to stick my seed tray up under there. You can see how it fits nicely. Make sure you've got your light positioned. Now, because my soil was damp, I am not adding any water to the bottom tray. In fact, these seeds will probably germinate within 7 to 10 days. I will keep an eye on the soil to make sure it's not drying out, but it's probably not going to need any water for several days. Sometimes even the whole 7 to 10 days, I don't need to add any water, but I'll keep an eye on it, and you can come along with me and we'll see how these seeds do germinating over the next 7 to 10 days. So you can see you don't need a fancy setup. This is just a little wall we don't use in the basement that I have claimed for my seed starting area. I do have this little greenhouse grow light system here, and then I have a couple more heat mats. Once my seeds germinate and I'm ready to take them out of this greenhouse area, I will just move them over to these heat mats, and they can sit under these grow lights for a little while I start another group of seeds. And then I just keep rotating them out. And as I do that, I'll show you where I keep the plants as they get bigger and start needing a little bit more room. All right, so thanks for joining me today. We'll come back in the morning to see how these seeds are doing. I'm excited, can't wait.